European Championship. And the tension in the arena is high. Here we go. Cars down on the track. And then away we go. They're underway. Coelho with the solid start. Straight away the attack on for third place. Naya and Turdman battling away there. Remember, they are using exactly the same qualifying format as we just saw in the B class. So the top three advancing, and then the top fourth and fifth going into that limbo zone. But they have to wait through to the second semi-final as well. That is an area they don't want to be. An instant back in the field. I think that was Mustafa Alp. Just got turned a little bit there. And he's back in the race, recovering. And the scraps are on! Huge crash at the first corner. Just outside a camera shot. Still flipping down. That was, I think, Joe Kerry involved there. As well as, who's the other driver in there as well? I think that might have been number 9, not Rene Poupke, but a blur to me. Two cars battling just outside the transfer spots. And the battle's picking up immediately. And I don't blame Coelho for trying to give this field the goodbye look. He's got Dirk Wisniewski, the champion already, and we've had a car into the stop and go penalty. That is Thilo Turtman, I think, in and out of the box. And that's going to hit him hugely. Thilo Turtman plummeting down the order. I wonder if he probably had any part to play in that contact in the opening laps. We've had a flip over on the back straight as well. Rene Poupke now having trouble over there. And he's still stopped over at the corner. There he is. He's stopped right in the middle of the track. That's Poupke, one of our qualifiers. He's being retrieved and going back to the lane. Is that a belt hanging off of that car as well? It's hard to tell. Our cameraman is right on it. Being relayed between the marshals. There is something hanging off that car. Could it be all over for Poupke already? His hopes of trying to do the double bump up may already be over.
I wonder if that damage was incurred from that crash on the first lap, maybe. Was he involved in that? I didn't see because it was just outside the camera.
There was a massive blur of action there. But what we can see right now on the screens is an intense battle here. This is a battle between the 5, 8 and 4. Number 5, 8 and 4. This is for 6th place. Quentin LaRue, Joe Kerry and Thilo Turtman. These are the guys who I think were involved in that contretemps at the first corner a few laps ago. Big shunt. They're all still running. So your top three after the opening laps is pretty much as they started. Bruno Coelho, Dirk Wisniewski and Patrick Naya. This is a great scrap for 6th place, but it's outside of the qualifying positions. Just ahead of those guys, you see the blue car of Mustafa Alp, who has profited rather nicely. He had that half spin on the opening lap, but Mustafa Alp, there he is, he's in 5th. So he's right on the edge of qualification. He'll be in that limbo zone. And Alex Thurston, shout out to the British fans who are locking in. Thurston having a lot of support here. He'll be pleased to know he's in 4th. Not as pleased as you'd like me, wanting to be in the automatic qualifying spots, but he's doing his best. But at the moment, he's scrapping away with Mustafa Alp in 4th and 5th. And it's in these two's best interest not to slow each other up, because remember, these two have to complete the most amount of laps in race distance in the shortest time possible in order to set the target for the 4th and 5th place finishes in the second semi-final and give themselves the best chance of going through, as well as the top three. The top three have just about gapped these guys for now. Naya is just some car lengths up the road. Thurston under attack from Mustafa Alp, who has impressed me immensely this week, and has impressed the entire RC Racing team up here. You heard Matt McCallum's comments about him here. He's basically the RC Racing's equivalent of a Jan Mardenborough or a Lucas Ordoneth. Guys from sim racer, from behind the desk, from behind the computer if you will, to behind the controller, and he has acquitted himself so well. He's stepped up gradually through the qualifying sessions, getting better and better all the time, leading to some great fastest laps in those sessions, and winning his qualifying session, his group at the end of qualifying. So certainly he's one to watch here, and if he can set this pace and keep it up, then he and Alex Thurston will be setting a formidable target for those in the second semi-final to follow. But they will both want to be in the automatic transfer spots, which right now are being held by Coelho, Wisniewski and Patrick Naya. And already discussion down in the pits. That's a car in the lane. That's Mustafa Alp. Oh, enough into the lane. Yeah, that's a fuel stop. That's okay. He's in and out. And he's just fine. And he's just come out behind. I think that's Quentin LaRue. And he's come out behind. And as I say, pit stop's beginning. That's a scheduled stop for Mustafa Alp. And a pit stop for the number 1 car of Coelho and the number 2 of Wisniewski. Awesome contacts. They come out of the lane there. Coelho just coming through the first few corners, followed by Wisniewski. There they are, right together on the track. Remember, this is not an important battle. These two are qualifying as it stands. These two nearly got together in the pit lane. They're fierce competitors, and any positions they gain here will help their starting position in the final. But of course, what they do not want to do what they... Oh, there's a car upside down also at the chicane at the bump after the bus stop. And who's that? That's up and over. And is suffering significant damage. I think that's the number 10 of Jari Valkola. Another one of our qualifiers hitting trouble. And his body is all over the place. The left front of that car is completely almost up in the sky. He's angled like a late model, trying out an extreme new setup on an oval. Except he's struggling around. He's going to get through. Meanwhile, this is the scrap that's going on track. This is, I think, LaRue versus Turtman. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Valkola's car suffering. Now, is that Valkola's car, actually? Was that someone else also in the battle? That's the number 7 of Alex Thurston. So this is now the battle for 4th that we're seeing here. Mustafa Alp, I think, pitted early. So he has dropped behind these guys for now. LaRue and Turtman, yes, you can just see Alp just to the right of shot. I don't know if Alp had a slower pit stop than these guys. I was pitted earlier. Some mistakes creeping in for Alp as well. Can't allow attention to get the better of him. Joe Kerry is scrapping away with him. One of the qualifiers. This is an immense battle. 5 cars all together in a pain train on the track. But this is all happening behind the automatic transfer spots, which is not where they want to be right now. Naya still holds the 3rd transfer spot. Just in front of him, you'll see Thurston has actually dropped to 6th place and has been passed by LaRue and Turtman. So Turtman, the 2014 B champion, he's looking to go for the A championship this year, and he's doing very well. Now Mustafa Alp putting pressure on Alex Thurston as well. All of these guys fighting quite a way behind Patrick Naya, but they're all scrapping for those 4th and 5th positions. They know that as long as they're in the 4th and 5th positions, they have a chance. Turtman then 5th place for Thurston, 6th for Mustafa Alp. Oh, a little bit of contact there. LaRue is scrapping away. Joe Kerry has pounced as well. This is like musical chairs at the moment. These guys rotating positions lap on lap. It's an extraordinary battle. Turtman has gapped these guys for 4th just a little bit. 5th for Thurston right now. 5th for Thurston, 6th for LaRue, 7th for Kerry, 8th for Mustafa Alp. So 5th through 8th locked together on the track, but only one of them has a chance of qualifying, and that is Thurston. There he is. Just ahead of him is Turtman, who's in 4th, and 3rd place Patrick Naya. He's not actually that far ahead of these guys. Naya is just coming through the opening hairpins now. The white and green car. There he is, middle of his shot. That's your 3rd place car. That's the last of the automatic qualifiers. And he just has to keep that locked in. He has to try and keep cool as possible out there on a track that is air temperature up near the 40 degrees Celsius mark, and a track temperature that is almost 10-20 degrees hotter than that. Conditions not ideal. The car's skating around on this surface that is not taking any more grip. It's almost smoothing off, and grip is now at a premium as the sun arcing up into the sky above us. And Naya continuing to hold 3rd place just about. It's a Portuguese, German top 3 right now, with Mustafa Alp down to 8th place. It's getting more and more difficult for him to try and make an impact here, and I will not stop him trying. There are a good 5 or 6 cars back there in the battle for 4th and 5th position, and the top 3 have just got enough of an advantage. I can tell you the top 2 are still right together. Coelho and Wisniewski, they're coming through the final few corners now, round through the start-finish area. Coelho's orange number 1 and Wisniewski's red and white number 2. So the lead battle is on. These two very well matched for pace, I have to say, and the advantage for them is that they are far out in front, that they can have a little bit of a dice. Naya is about a 1/3 of a lap behind them, so they can have a little scrap if they want to. Wisniewski and Coelho feeling each other out. And this is a fascinating scrap. You can't take your eyes off this for a second. And they're both in the pit lane at the same time. Who's got the more efficient pit crew? Wisniewski has. That is a great blow to strike. Wisniewski beats Coelho handily out of the pit lane. So we have a new leader. Wisniewski. We have a car slow on the track. That's the number 4, Thilo Turtman, in the final few corners. There he is. He came off at the previous corner. The marshal's running him back. Relayed across. So Turtman, his hopes going up in smoke. Let's have a look what's going on down on the lane. I'm craning my neck down. It looks like it's terminal. It's going to the back bench. Hands crossed. I think it's all over. Surely it's all over now. The amount of time he's losing, if he can get it back on track, it won't be enough. So this changes the transfer story. Turtman is down and away though. That car is back out there. He'll continue to fight. He's down to 8th place though, and has lost crucial time. So that does not change the top 3. And it's still Wisniewski, Coelho and Naya. What that does affect is the battle for 4th on back between Alex Thurston, who's now 4th, Joe Kerry 5th. So if those two set a good enough pace, we could see 2 British qualifiers out of this semi-finals, and in the final, that'll be a great story. Meanwhile, these guys we're watching here is Leroux and Turtman. Leroux is ahead of Turtman by about a lap, so this is not about the position, but the tension in the arena is absolutely phenomenal. Orders being barked back and forth between the driver's stand and the pit lane, but the racket these cars are making, it's hard to keep your concentration. It's the number 7 now in the lane of Alex Thurston. Someone slow as well on track. Is that Turtman? It's Turtman. Turtman slow on the track. I think it's all over. Whatever fix they tried to make, I think they had suspension issues on that car, or wheel issues on that car. Marshall's running all over the place, and Marshall just lost a hat down there sprinting. We have another car off over on the far side. We're just picking up the battle for 4th place, and it is growing in intensity. That car there in front is running Poupke. It's Thurston, the pink car, and behind them we've got Leroux, Mustafa Alp and Joe Kerry all going at it. Kerry is the first of those cars, Leroux second, Mustafa Alp third in line. That is the battle for 5th and the very last potential qualifying spot. This is the intensity for the battle for the potential qualifying slots. This is not even the guaranteed slots, but this is everything for these guys. They have to at least have a chance of going through, and right now Thurston is protecting it with everything he's got. Joe Kerry is hanging in there just about. 2 Brits in the 4th and 5th transfer spots, potential transfer spots, depending on the times from the second semi-final. Kerry's under all sorts of pressure from Quentin Leroux and Mustafa Alp. These guys, barely anything to put between them. Thilo Turtman, I think, is back out on track again, but he's lost another lap in amongst all that. So it is pretty much between Wisniewski, Coelho, Nair for your top 3 automatic transfers, and then it is just about anybody's game for 4th on back. It's Thurston 4th, Joe Kerry 5th, Quentin Leroux 6th, Mustafa Alp 7th. So 4 cars trying to go into 2 positions, and as I say, those positions are not even guaranteed transfer spots. That is how close it is right now. We're following Joe Kerry in 5th spot. He's just put a little bit of a gap between himself and Quentin Leroux, but he may have to start putting pressure on Thurston here, because Thurston cannot afford to let Thurston back him in to Leroux and put him back in trouble. So that is the battle we're watching here. And remember, of course, if Kerry feels like he's got car speed, he may feel like he can catch up to Patrick Nair. Nair is about the length of the back straight between himself and Thurston, so there's not much in it. You can just see Nair just out of shot sometimes as they come through the corners. We're following Thurston and Kerry, who are your 4th and 5th place runners, occasionally just out of shot. Coming through the hairpins there, you'll see Patrick Nair. Let's stick on this battle, because this is the best one on the track right now. The leaders are still locked together in their own battle, but at the moment they're battling so far ahead of everyone, they can do what they want. They are like kids that play right now. This is the major battle to watch on the track between the 2 Brits. Kerry feels like he's quicker than Thurston. He cannot afford to let Thurston hold him up, or what he feels like will be him holding him up. As the battle continues here. And I think I just heard, now this will be a dramatic development, I think I just heard the use of a stop-go penalty for the number 1 of Bruno Coelho. I think I heard that right. But we'll continue on this battle. Well, yes, Coelho is in the lane. Coelho in and out of the lane. A stop-go penalty for Bruno Coelho. Now how does that change things? I think he had enough of an advantage over Patrick Nair in 3rd. Yeah, Nair is still half a lap behind Coelho, so all that really affects is the lead battle. Coelho is still 2nd and still in the transfer spots. We're back on this amazing battle for 4th place, and Coelho is now 10 seconds ahead of Nair, so the gap is marginal at best. There's not much in it. 10 seconds is not a huge amount in RC racing at all, but Coelho certainly didn't need that. He's still in a good position. This is your battle for 4th right now between the 2 Brits, and as it stands, these 2 would go into that limbo zone, 4th and 5th place, where they'd have to rely on the 4th and 5th place finishes in the second semi-final not doing more laps than them in their race. And that is a situation you just don't want to be in. You want to try and lock yourself in as best as possible. The one thing in their favour is that they have put a very, very good advantage between themselves and the guys battling behind them, which included Quentin Leroux, Mustafa Alp and co. So those guys have got a handy advantage on those two, so they should be able to get down and do their own race. If they're smart about this, they won't really attack each other, although Kerry may well be worried that Thurston is slowing him down and affecting his overall time. And as if to demonstrate the gap between the two, 4th and 5th are there on screen, and then 3rd car in line is your 3rd place runner of Patrick Nair. Well, he was actually behind them on the track. Sorry, I got the mistake there. It was a pit lane and a lovely pass in the pits by Joe Kerry, and then a big flip for Thurston. That is going to cost him hugely, and he's wedged under the wall. Oh no, surely not. Massive drama coming out of the pit lane. Has Thurston blown it? Has Thurston blown it? We've got another car slow there as well. That's Thilo Turtman, who's had multiple issues throughout this race. So the complexation of this race takes a huge turn, a enormous twist. And it was when those two were coming out of the pit lane, Kerry jumped Thurston in the pit lane. Thurston was trying to get back at him, and he flipped and got himself wedged under the wall. And has that cost Thurston? It's put him down to 7th place, I can tell you. And right now, Joe Kerry is up to 4th, and Quentin LaRue is your 5th place runner. Joe Kerry's just coming through the start-finish area now, into the first few hairpins. There he is, we found him. And let's have a look at what happened to Alex on the VRC Pro replay. This was the pit exit. Look at Kerry. Great run out of the pits. He got the gas down early. Thurston looked for the switchback, bailed out of it, lost a bit of control there, and then hit the rumble strips, and it flipped his car up and over, and then he slid off into the wall there, and it wedged the front end of the car underneath the wall. He couldn't get out. That's what cost him all the time in the end. And that is why Thurston is now down in 7th place. Huge, huge arse now for him to get into the final. That's the number 5 has just been in and out of the pits beneath us. That's Quentin LaRue, who is now your 5th place runner, or was your 5th place runner on the track. He may still be. This is your 4th place driver, Joe Kerry, who is actually, unless he hasn't pitted yet, he's not that far behind Patrick Nair. I have to say, Nair is the next car up the road, and I wonder, we could see a late battle for 3rd on our hands here, because there's Patrick Nair, the white and green car of the German driver. He's been rock solid the whole week, but he may well be starting to come under a little bit of pressure from Joe Kerry. There's still a healthy gap between the two of them, but it's not much room for error, shall we say. As you can see it on the screen, there is the gap there on the screen. Basically, Nair has no margin whatsoever for error if he wants to keep on to that automatic transfer spot, but then again, so does the entire field. So the leaders have just pitted in and out beneath us. There's no need to watch for them. We've got a car off just by the pit entrance. That's René Poupke, who had issues already. So he's continuing to follow Patrick Nair, and he continues to truck on. And Joe Kerry, I think he's just putting a little bit of a gap on Kerry. So Joe Kerry, I think, is still going to have to rely on his form and his overall pace here, because I don't think he's getting past Patrick Nair unless something happens to Nair here. I don't think Kerry's got quite the car speed on him. We have 2 minutes left in this absolutely enthralling first semi-final for the European Championship, EFRA 110 IC track European Championship. First semi-final has been thrill a minute, and it's still not over yet, really. Dirk Wisniewski has a comfortable enough lead over Bruno Coelho. It's not a huge lead, but it's enough. But crucially for those two, they are far ahead of 3rd place and are both locked in to the final as it stands. Patrick Nair is 3rd. He will be the 3rd driver to advance, but he is still under a little bit of pressure. He's starting to pull away though from Joe Kerry, I have to say. So Nair looks like he's about to seal up 3rd place and the final transfer spot. And then 4th place is Kerry. He's struggling to live with Nair, but Kerry then, his mission will be to complete more laps than the 4th and 5th place finishes in the 2nd semi-final, and we don't know what sort of target to set. Of course, the 2 qualifiers into the Euro B final completed 40 and 39 laps. Pit stop for Nair here. That'll put Kerry into 3rd place for now, but does Kerry still have to pit one more time? I don't know. It's very late in the going for a pit stop. Surely too late for a scheduled one. Have we just seen a late change for 3rd here? Did Nair underestimate his fuel running there? But if he has, it's suddenly put him in the drop zone, in that limbo zone, and it's put Joe Kerry in the automatic qualifying spots. Could Joe Kerry be on the verge of doing the double bump up and making it into the final from the quarterfinals? That'll be some story. We had something happen. A shout went up from down in the lane. Something I think happened there. But we're keeping our eyes open on the track. You have to have... We've got 2 pairs of eyes up in the commentary box, and that is nowhere near enough to keep tabs on everything that's going on. We're coming into the final 10 seconds now. Joe Kerry is still ahead. Has Kerry pulled the fuel gamble? I'm just fascinated to see how Patrick Nair had to pit so late there. Kerry is still ahead. He's got to complete this lap first. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the track, the leaders will come around to complete their race. Wisniewski and Coelho still 1 and 2, but we're watching the 3rd place battle here. Joe Kerry could be on the verge of doing the double bump up. Nair's right there with him. Nair has been consistent. I don't think he's going to do it. And Joe Kerry, oh my word, how close was that? Did Joe Kerry just run out as he crossed the finish line? It doesn't get any closer than that, ladies and gentlemen. James, did he run out across the line?
I think he did, I'm not sure.
That is unbelievable. We're going to have an interview here.
Joe, it looks like you're in the final.
Yeah, it was a big surprise. I was not expecting it after such a poor qualifying as well.
Yeah, you bumped up twice, so you must be really... I mean, things have just finally turned around for you, I guess.
Yeah, like we've struggled with traction rolling all week, and then we changed a few things last night, and the car's just come good. It's, yeah, really pleased.
Just describe the slightly difficult your battle with your British teammate, and unfortunately Alex came off the worst, and I don't think he's going to make it. I mean, that must be quite tough.
Yeah, it was a good battle. We do it all the time in the UK, so we've come all the way here and it's still the same, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Congratulations, good luck for the final.
All right, cheers.
Well, there you go then. You heard from Joe Kerry, who has just done the double bump up, and with that late fuel gamble, I wonder if he just gambled on his fuel. He just got it a little bit better. Patrick Nair looked nailed on for that 3rd transfer.